Hello, and thanks for joining us for another installation of the DMR Employer Profile series. And we're trying to shine a spotlight on some of the companies that we work with, some of the construction firms and their employees, and the type of training and assessment that we do for them. And today we're looking at Johnson's 1871, who are a removal business. They cover all aspects of removal, from project management, furniture installation, security, specialist services, logistics. They're a big firm. They've got a lot of big names amongst the clientele, including NHS, BBC Wales, Barclays, Npower, to name a few. And today we're joined by Tracey, who's Operations and Installations Manager with Johnson's. And he's currently doing an NVQ Level 2 in fitted interiors with DMR training, along with 3 of his colleagues. Thanks for joining us today, Sean. Appreciate you taking the time out. If you could start, cheers. If you could just start by introducing yourself and giving us a little bit of background to Johnson's, please.
Yeah, sure. I'm Sean, as Matt said, been working with Johnson's for a little while now. We, as a firm, we offer a massive array of services to our clients. Everything, like I said, home and storage, home moves and storage, business moves. We do security, we do technology, refurbishing of redundant IT kits. We have a hygiene and clean division, and obviously the project management and the furniture installations, which is the arm of the business that I'm involved in. Okay,
and so you're the company. It's quite a big firm, and they have sort of sub or smaller companies within the main Johnson's brand, and you're within the installation part of the business. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah. So it's one Johnson's 1871 is, if you like, the holding company, and then we have the brands which are managed by the people that are experts in that field. So we have obviously specialist IT people who work within and run the Johnson's Technologies business. And the same with the laboratory logistics specialists in that field run that. And obviously I'm part of the furniture installations. Obviously, so that's where my experience and expertise is.
Okay, and tell us a little bit more about your role, please, Sean. What you do, on like a day-to-day basis. What does it involve?
Yeah, so I have obviously we deal with clients from furniture manufacturers to furniture resellers, dealers. And we will basically get a job. They'll give us a job to install some furniture, and that will probably start with us receiving deliveries into one of our local hubs to store the stuff until the job is ready to be installed. So we'll receive deliveries, check them over, make sure everything's as it should be, and then store them safely, and then re-deliver to site when the end user is ready to have it installed. So my role is obviously collating those deliveries, getting them to make sure that the warehouses that they've been delivered into are expecting them. They know what they're expecting. So if there's something missing, they're on it straight away. And then obviously managing of the team of fitters to tell the lads basically, whether it be on Tuesday, lads, we're going to be installing this furniture in this building at this time, and give them all the information they need. That's providing them with risk assessments, method statements, plans of how they want it to be, access routes if there's a particularly difficult access into the building, and basically just managing the whole installation from start to finish. And then obviously when I'm obviously available, which is a lot of the time, obviously I want to go to site and make sure that the quality of the installation is done correctly, and that basically we're walking away with a happy customer and a happy team at the end of each working day.
Just to come back to Johnson's again, to the overall company, I noticed it's the 150th anniversary from when they first started operating, and I saw on the website that you started in Cheshire in 1871 with a fleet of horse and carts, and obviously you've come a long way since then. And have you got anything lined up to mark the 150th anniversary of the company? Any events or anything like that?
Yeah, there's been a lot of chat within the company of obviously what to do to mark the 150 years. Obviously with the pandemic hitting, there's a lot of stuff that can't be done. But one thing that I know is definitely going through is there's been a a few new vehicles ordered, and they're going to be wrapped in the Johnson's livery of Johnson's through the ages. So the pictures on the side of the trucks that are coming through will be Johnson's from 1871 through to 2021. And I know there was a community project done where they sent out templates to the surrounding area to offer people a chance to design a truck and get their input into what they'd like to see on the side of the truck, and obviously send it into Johnson's. And then obviously we have a team who deal with all that. And then obviously the trucks have been ordered and designed and are due for delivery this year.
Right. I'd like to ask you next about training for your role, and also why you decided to do the NVQ in fitted interiors. So what previous training have you had, if any, and why have you picked this particular qualification to do with us, with DMR?
In my time working within the furniture industry, I've never really done any specific furniture installation training. I've been working for probably about 17 years, maybe, in the furniture installation business, and everything's been learned on site. Everything I've learned,
it's been very much kind of learn on the job, learn as you go style.
Exactly,
of learning. Okay.
Yeah. When I progressed through to managing a team, I was then put on a team leading diploma course, which I did, and I've done obviously site safety, basic site safety, to give me a labourer's CSCS card, which has now been which has superseded the construction site operative CSCS card. But Johnson's, we just believe that training is important for everybody within the business. So the fact that I can do the job and have done the job is fine, but to have that certificate and the proof that you've proved to the awarding bodies that you actually do know what you're talking about and you can do the job, but more important that you can do it safely, because that's the most important thing, to make sure that we can do our job and do it safely, not just to keep ourselves safe, but to keep everybody that's working in and around our area of work safe. So the MVQ is very important to ourselves, to make sure that our lads have got the knowledge and the expertise and the safety aspect of it all under control, but obviously to show to our clients that we are committed to bettering the staff and giving them every opportunity to grow within their roles and obviously advance within the company.
Okay, I'd like to ask you now, Sean, about the pandemic in the last 12 months. It's kind of been the defining thing of the last year, and it's affected pretty much every company. I don't know any companies who've not been affected in some way by COVID-19. So my next question is, what kind of impact has it had on your job, on the company as a whole, or on your day-to-day work? And what measures have you had to take to put in place since it started?
Yeah, well, obviously the pandemic has had an impact on our work. More on the day-to-day work that we do. To be fair, we were quite lucky to be given a government essential workers permission certificate very early on in the pandemic, as we were doing a lot of government work. So during the pandemic, we've done work at the MOD, for DEFRA, the DWP, and others like that obviously need to be keeping moving. We've obviously with logistics arm of the business, delivering hand sanitizer to all government staff to make sure they can be as safe as possible. And then obviously the challenge for us on the ground, so to speak, was just to make sure that our employees that are still working are kept safe. So obviously we've reduced the number of people that were traveling together in vehicles. We had to provide gloves, and that would be new gloves on request. As soon as everybody requested a pair of gloves, they were given gloves. Hand sanitizer in every vehicle, and lots of it. We had disinfectant wipes all over, and then obviously we had face masks and full face shields provided to every employee to make sure that the guys were as safe as possible. Obviously, during the pandemic, there was a new arm of Johnson's born, which was the hygiene and clean division. So Johnson's have a hydrostatic cleaning system, which is basically disinfects the whole of the area that it touches. It's a hydrostatic, so it goes on dry. It can be sprayed onto live electric equipment, so laptops and PCs don't need to be unplugged. And we now offer that service around offices and homes across the UK on a 24/7 basis. So if your office was working 8 till 8, maybe you could ring up Johnson's Hygiene and Clean, and they would come into your office at 9, 10 p.m. and they would work through the night to make sure that your office is fully disinfected and sanitized overnight. So when you come in the morning, everything's been cleaned, and you know that the COVID-19 has been treated if there was anything in your office. And we obviously offer that as part of our home moves as well. We do a lot of domestic moves, and people like to either clean the property that they're vacating or have the property that they're going to be moving into deep cleaned and sanitized, just for that peace of mind. When they move in, they know they've got it. So that's one positive, so to speak, of the pandemic, that obviously we've been able to offer that service, and a lot of people have been taking that up, and we've got a good team of dedicated lads that, like I say, are working around the clock to make sure that everybody can have that peace of mind.
And moving on from the pandemic to the environment and sustainability, does Johnson's have any goals or any policies in place for carbon reduction, and in terms of waste recycling, energy efficiency? What kind of measures do you have in place for that area?
We do. Yeah, obviously, like I said, vehicles are used to capacity. It's obviously a little bit not as easy to do during the pandemic, because obviously it's more important to keep people safe. So we wouldn't fill a 5-seater vehicle with 5 people during the pandemic. It just wouldn't be practical. But obviously, in non-COVID times, we would use vehicles to capacity to make sure that there's no unnecessary vehicles on the road. We have ordered. I'll be honest, I'm not sure if they've been delivered yet. I knew they were due to be delivered last year. I'm not sure if they've come yet because of the pandemic. But there are electric vehicles being ordered by the business. I know there are a couple of electric cars for the sales team that used in our electric cars. I'm just not 100% sure on the vehicles. But from my perspective, the biggest way that we tackle sustainability is recycling. Obviously, in the furniture installation world, there's a lot of packaging. Everything comes wrapped and double wrapped and then treble wrapped. So obviously, rather than just dumping everything into a skip to go to landfill, we're meticulous with recycling. So we'll have cardboard, plastic, metal, wood. It's all segregated and ethically disposed, rather than just landfill, which obviously is a massive no-no. So it's drilled into our lads on a daily basis. Recycling. It's the least we can do to make sure that our impact on the environment is reduced to a minimum.
Right. This brings us nicely to the final question or area that I'd like to cover with you, Sean, and that's what we were talking earlier about. A lot of the fantastic charity, volunteering, social projects that Johnson's are involved in, and I'd just like to ask you to share some of those with our viewers, if you would, please.
Yeah, no problem. We, as a company, Johnson's, I think, go above and beyond in terms of the community. They do sponsor a couple of local football teams, obviously provide kits and equipment for the young ones that are playing football within them clubs. But not only that, they sponsor a child for guitar lessons. So there's a child that obviously applied and was chosen in 2019. He will receive a free guitar lesson, obviously paid for by Johnson's, every week of term time for his whole school career. And there are plans to obviously appoint one student every year. Obviously, with the pandemic, 2020 didn't go as planned. But obviously, there are calendar dates to choose somebody else for September 2021. We do a lot of laptop donations. So as I mentioned earlier, we have a Johnson's technology arm. We do refurbish redundant IT from companies, and a lot of that is donated then back into local schools, which obviously in recent times has been invaluable for a lot of children working from home that don't have access to IT equipment. Johnson's have been there to be able to make sure that children are having the best opportunity they can, given the circumstances. And obviously we do a lot of, obviously when the IT is upgraded within the business, whether that be mobile phones or other items of tech, then that's obviously made available to local communities either free or at a heavily reduced rate. So to be fair, I think Johnson's are brilliant when it comes to the community and the volunteering and the support that they give to the local communities around the sites that we operate from.
Thanks a lot, Sean. We're really looking forward to working with you over the coming months and hopefully years. You've given us a great background and insight into the company and what you do, and as well as your personal role as well. Some of the information you gave us at the end about the charity work and the community projects, that was really fascinating. Good to hear. So I'll just wrap up by saying that Johnson's, you can find out more about the company on their website, which is www.johnsons1871.com, and you can also find them on Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn as well. Sean, thanks again. I'll let you get back to work.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks for joining us today. Cheers.
No problem. Cheers, bud.